You find me crouched in the well deck, sheltering from the wind so that you can hear what I'm saying. I've run out of water, I need coal, I need diesel, and I need a resupply of the food stocks as well. So there's a boatyard about 3 miles down the way. That's where I'm headed. A good shove to the bow and I'm on my way. Well, I just got off the bank after much faffing about because the wind was blowing me back onto the bank. Plus I was on a bit of a bend as well, which was working against me. And I got about 10 yards and then I realised I hadn't taken the pin in for the centre line because I had 2 chains and just the centre line on a pin. That was mainly there just because when I moored it was easier to put the pin in first of all. And then I realised I'd forgotten one of the chains as well, so I had to completely pull back into the bank, go and collect everything I'd forgotten, which was 2 out of 3 things, so not very well done there, I'm afraid. But on a plus point, I'm away again, and I have remembered to take the chimney down and the aerial, and I've set the dishwasher running, so probably most other things are done. To my right, there is a series of half blown over trees, so I keep to the left, or port side. It's as I come to this more open stretch that the wind begins to take the boat. In fact, try as I might, I just cannot steer around the boat in front. Realising I'm not going to make it, I chuck the boat into reverse. The wind dumps me rather unceremoniously on the bank, so I'll reverse up a bit further and have another run at it. Well, there's a boat just up ahead and it's just before the there's a little bridge that I need to open, and I had to come right onto the wrong side of the canal, the port side, left hand side of the canal, to avoid the tree behind me. I've got so much wind coming over from that side that I can't get the boat around the boat that's in the way ahead of me. I just tried reversing and trying to go around it and get the nose right out. I had to get blown straight back in again. So as ever, let's see what I'm going to do about that. Having backed up a good distance, I give the bow the biggest shove I can, but the wind is already acting against me. I power ahead, steering to the starboard as much as I can. But I don't quite clear the other boat, instead using it more as a steering aid. And that's not me steering the boat to port or left, it's the wind, and once again I'm dumped onto the Aynho. Luckily it's not too far from my objective, that little bridge ahead. So I'll scrape and grind my way down there. I get the boat tied on at the landing stage and go to tackle the bridge. If you've seen some of my other videos, then you might have seen me struggling with this type of bridge before. These bridges crop up regularly on the Oxford Canal, and I'll just have to deal with it best I can. No, that's not going to work. Try again. This time surely, gently does it. No, that's not going to work either. One more try. No, the wind's just blowing it back down again. Maybe it's time to try something else. I bring the boat up to the mouth of the gate's entrance. Right, the plan is to bow haul it through while I hold the bridge open. I imagine that most of you can see that my plan hasn't got a cat's chance in hell of working. Fortunately, I realise this and reconsider. No, don't like that idea. Try something else. I look around to see what wood I have. The mega plank is just too heavy and unwieldy, and probably a bit too long. But a piece of decking that I use to keep the boat off the bank when moored in shallow waters looks to be about the right length. Actually, it's a foot or two shorter than the ideal, but I managed to get it wedged into place. Right, I think speed is of the essence. I push the bow out, only for the wind to blow it straight back in again.
So I just power forward with the engine before the wind causes the bridge to jiggle and I lose that wedged plank. If that bridge drops onto the boat, it'll do a hell of a lot of damage.
Well, that wasn't at all scary. No trouble finding the landing stage though, the wind's doing it all for me.
And yet again, the wind dumps me onto the Aynho. I've retrieved my piece of wood and I'm underway again. This stretch is a lot more sheltered.
Well, I'm on a nice straight sheltered bit now. You wouldn't even know there was any wind, but back there it was just blowing a gale across those fields and made the boat almost completely unmanoeuvrable. I was almost going to just moor and give up. No wind. It's really weird because back there it felt really high up, I suppose just because it was exposed, but all the way since I feel like I've been coming downhill. I mean, I've not done any locks and obviously the water's flat, but it's really weird. I just feel like I'm in a sort of sheltered dip now. It's certainly nice to be out of that wind, whatever.
Looks like there would have been a bridge here at one time. Just coming to the outskirts of Aynho.
Well, here's where it all happens. This is obviously long-term moorers only, this entire stretch, but there's a little snick at the other side, room for about 4 boats. I'm hoping to get a space there, but I doubt very much if I will. So I can get my water and coal and diesel and do the bins, all that kind of stuff, and then stop at the first available and hole up again for as long as I can. Well, stroke of luck, the water tap's on, and in fact the office is manned, and I can get my diesel and my coal, and there's bins, so it was worth the trip at least. Well, this boat next to me looks good enough to eat.
I wait for someone to come and fill the diesel, and in the meantime the water is filling.
Well, that was a brilliantly successful little stop. I got my diesel, a couple of bags of coal, filled the main water tank, and because my car's already there, I was able to grab a bunch of heavy stuff out of there, namely 2 litre drinking waters, so that was good. So yeah, managed to get everything done there, got rid of the rubbish as well. And there's just a few spots of rain about now, and I'm hoping to just make it up round the next corner where I hear there's some Aynho and some decent mooring. At last the winter mooring section is finished, so it wasn't very popular though, I didn't see anyone on it actually, so it was a waste of time. But it looks like there's a bit here that's for everybody, so let's hope I can find a space. Well, despite a poor start, what with the wind and the threat of rain, it's been quite a good little trip in the end actually. It's only 2 or 3 miles, but obviously it's a lockdown and we're not supposed to cruise when we don't need to, and I needed water and diesel and coal, especially coal, well, and water and bins so it's been really worthwhile for me. I've gone no further than I needed to. I'm round the corner from the boatyard just after the winter moorings because I don't need those. Found a nice bit of Aynho. There's a few other boats here, and I think this will do me to ride out the storm, as it were.
Coming up in next week's episode.
I can see a problem with that straight away. Couple of hours till dusk, should be fine.